Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Ovens Garage. Today I'm going to do a quick video on how to fit Ford wheels onto a first gen Dodge Cummins to replace the factory stock Dodge wheels. The point of doing something like this is the factory stock Dodge wheels are 16-inch by 6 inches wide, where the Ford factory wheels that you can find on older Power Stroke diesels, or I think even some 8-lug like van wheels, they're actually 7 inches wide. So the 7 inches wide rim will actually let you run wider wheels like 285s without bulging the tire as much. So I just wanted to make a quick video to show you that and how the factory hubcaps and the trim rings fit onto those wheels. All right, so finding these four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive, the hubcaps and trim rings are pretty hard to come by, but on Vancouver Island they're not super difficult to find. But there are a lot of vans that have just the two-wheel drive style that have flat over here and not room for the hub to poke through. So these four-wheel drives ones are harder to find. I have one extra of these and 3 extra trim rings, but I'm gonna head out to the truck here and I'll show you how these trim rings and hubcaps fit onto the Ford Power Stroke wheels and what to look for when you're going to look at wheels. So the factory first gen wheels are this size exactly, okay? They're 235 85 R16. So what does that mean? That means 235 is the width of the tire itself. The 85 is the aspect ratio, so the height of the tire from here to here. And the 16 is the diameter of the wheel itself, where it seats to the bead. So when you're going to look at wheels, you want to make sure that you're looking at a 16-inch rim. It's very important because when I went to go look at some Ford wheels, they actually have 16.5-inch rims, which the hubcaps themselves, the center hubcaps, will actually fit the center of those wheels, but these trim rings are not going to fit on 16.5-inch Ford rims. They'll only fit on 16-inch rims. So keep an eye out for that when you're looking at Ford wheels. All right, and we're out of the truck here now. I just had the rims mounted to the tires that I had here. These are the Ford Power Stroke rims. I got these off of a 1997 7.3 liter Power Stroke diesel. The truck only had about 100,000 kilometers on it, and these were in really nice shape actually. So like I said, when you're looking at a wheel, you want to make sure you find a Ford Power Stroke wheel that's a 16-inch and not a 16.5-inch, so that way your hubcaps and your trim rings fit well. Just the only thing to note when you're looking at these Ford wheels instead of the Dodge factory wheels, it's the same bolt pattern. So it's an 8 by 6.5. So what that means is there's 8 bolts, and the 6.5 is across. The measurement from the center of this hole to the center of this hole is 6.5 inches. So the Ford and the Dodge have the same exact bolt pattern, but one thing to note is the Fords had a wider center bore. So what the guy was telling me at the tire shop when I mounted these is, he says, you know, do you realize that these wheels are for a Ford and not for a Dodge? That, you know, they're not hub-centric is what he called them. So the hub-centric wheels are actually fitted to the bore of the hub assembly itself. So these Ford wheels are just slightly wider than the Dodge ones. So they don't actually sit on the bore of the hubs on the Dana 60 axles like they do on the Fords. So keep in mind, you know, I'm not really sure how much entirely that affects the you know, weight loading of the truck on the axle itself. You know, I'd like to think that most of the load is carried on the lugs themselves instead of the hub, and probably the hub is more just for centering of the wheel before you tighten down the lugs. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for Ford wheels that are going to fit on your Dodge first gen. That's the only major issue that I was running into. The other thing you want to look for is make sure that there's 4 knobs here to hold on your hubcap, and and then your trim ring when you go to look at some wheels. You know, take a trim ring with you and make sure it fits nicely. Alright, so I just spent about 15 minutes or so polishing up my center caps and my trim rings. These trim rings actually came off of a really mint first gen. I think they're even nicer than the one on that truck, so I might switch them, but who knows. And these center caps came off of someone's truck who he restored and put on different wheels, so they're in pretty decent shape too. So I've got 4 trim rings on the truck, 2 front ones, and then I had a rear one on the driver's side that's a bit banged up, and then I've got I'm still missing one for the passenger side. My dad is sending me one that I had a spare before I moved out here and kept it with him, so he's mailing it to me, so I should have enough for the entire set. So we'll go ahead and pop these on. Alright, and there's the factory hubcap and trim ring on the Ford Power Stroke wheel. That's what it looked like. These are 235 85/16 tires on here. This is a retread of a Toyo M55 casing with Bandag gripper retreads on them. They're pretty beefy. They'll be perfect for camping. One of the other things that I would want to note for some guys restoring their first gens is what I did on my red truck, but I haven't done on these, is actually I painted the rims themselves black, and in here you can see the silver from the rim itself, and then in between here is silver. If you paint the wheel black, it actually gives it a really nice contrast between the stainless and the black rim, and it really makes the hubcap in the center pop compared to the trim ring. So that's one thing you can do to really make the wheel look good on this truck. Still missing one there. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That was just a quick little video that I wanted to show you, because I didn't really see too much information on the forums or the internet about how to fit Ford 8-lug wheels onto a Dodge. So that's kind of what I learned through the whole process and what I was looking for. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching. Cheers guys, stay tuned for more.